Hey folks, welcome back to the car studio. Wanted to discuss something that's been on my mind recently, and that is the term effective annual fee. And we tend to get it wrong because we use effective annual fee, or I've noticed that effective annual fee is used in the credit card space on YouTube as a concept, as a conceptual device. And it may work as a conceptual device, but it doesn't work when you bring it to a per person basis, right? You can sit and highlight with the Capital One Venture X. You get a $395 annual fee. You have a $300 travel credit in the travel portal, and every year they give you 10,000 points, making your effective annual fee $5 in value. Well, that's not entirely true when you break it down that, yes, you have to use the $300 in the travel portal. All right, so you get that back as a coupon. Nice. And then the 10,000 points would only equal $5 in value if you just used the travel eraser feature. There's no way to cash out those points at a penny per point. You can use those points at a penny per point using the travel eraser, but you can't use it for a statement credit. That's half a penny per point, making your 10,000 points really, instead of $100, they're worth $50. So you're going to hurt yourself there. And you can get potentially more value by transferring out to select transfer partners like Aeroplan or British Airways Avios, just because an Avios is an Avios is an Avios, as I always say. So conceptually, yes, you do get negative $5. However, when it comes to you, an individual, it's how you're going to use those points. And the term I've been playing with has been net annual fee. And net annual fee is different because net annual fee is what you actually use. Right. And so part of why I don't do like big credit card reviews is everyone is different. Everyone's use case is going to be different. So yes, I can tell you how I'll use the Sapphire Reserve and how I end up netting out what I end up netting out, which is the $300 travel credit every year. I try to utilize the grocery and dining credits on DoorDash, and now they're becoming promotions, which is going to be a thing. But I try to utilize those, and if I utilize all of them, I get, $300 in value there. If I don't utilize all of them, well, then that becomes a bit of, that just detracts from my net annual fee, right? And the other thing that doesn't get taken into account is, we say that you can get way more value by transferring out to transfer partners. But again, that's going to depend on how you utilize those points and you utilize your transfer partners, because if you're transferring out to a transfer partner where you end up only getting, 0.7 of a point, yes, you've gained like 5 times points doing something, but you're netting out at 0.7 of a point, at 0.7 of a point, making your effective cash out on the points that you earned, 3.75% or something like that. Just, that's bad math, I know. But the math is always going to be different on an individual basis. And the math is also going to be further complicated by how you're going to use the points. So take, for example, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, right? The Sapphire Reserve, $550 annual fee, $300 travel credit, up to $300 in credits through DoorDash. You're going to earn 10 times points on Lyft up until March of next year. Currently, there's been no changes in that as of yet. We've lost the Instacart membership. We've lost the Instacart credit, whatever. Not that big a deal. So now let's take someone who, travels a ton and uses Lyft all the time and is maxing out that Lyft credit, those Lyft points as much as possible, right? Let's say you have someone who's traveling for work and they spend around $100 a month on Lyft. And $100 is being very conservative, because I have seen some Lyft prices in cities, and $100 is like one trip. But let's say you're spending $100 a month on Lyft. On the Chase Sapphire Reserve, that's 1,000 points. And in a year, that's 12,000 points just on spend that you're doing regularly. That could be a night at a Category 3 Hyatt. If you transfer over to Hyatt and spend a night at a Category 3. So do we take our redemptions into account when doing effective annual fee? No, but you should take your redemptions into account for net annual fee. So on a per person basis, net annual fee is going to give you a better reflection of what the card's value actually is to a person. right? Effective annual fee is just a nice concept, but the money comes out of your wallet, and then this effective annual fee presupposes that you hit every single credit to get what you can conceivably get, right? Take the American Express Gold Card, $325 annual fee now, $424 in available credits. Now, if you're able to do everything for those $424, yes, you've come out $99 ahead. If you're not able to utilize the dining credit for whatever reason, there's no Five Guys around, or you know that $10 at Five Guys is just like a joke. If you don't use the dining credit, that's now $120 out of that $424. So, okay, let's say you've used $404. You're still coming out ahead, but you're not coming out as ahead. 424. Sorry, that would be $304. So now you're $21 in the hole for your net annual fee. Effective annual fee is a concept that can be used to sell you the card, right? Your effective annual fee on the Chase Sapphire Preferred can be $45 if you get the if you use the $50 credit. Oh, but there's also a quarterly credit with DoorDash or a monthly credit with DoorDash, so you can come out even further ahead. City Strata Premier, effective annual fee of -$5 if you spend $500 at a hotel through the city travel portal, and then you get that $100 credit. And you see where I'm going? Like, if you use all the credits, yes, you can come out ahead, but a per person utilization of the credits, and it's starting to be talked about, but think of it as a net annual fee as the formula is this amount of money goes out and is prepaying for a bunch of things. It doesn't matter what card it is. With a card with an annual fee, this amount goes out and they can promise this amount back that I've prepaid for. The U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve, recently discontinued, probably coming back, but regardless, this one's also really simple because it's a nice baseline. $400 goes out to U.S. Bank. You can recoup $325 with the travel and dining credit, right? Then all of your money all of your redemptions with real-time rewards net you back the $75 and however much more, right? That is what made the U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve one of the strongest cards. Even though they have no transfer partners, they don't have the same sort of appeal as the Sapphire Reserve, as the Venture X, as the American Express Gold Card, as the American Express Platinum Card, right? Because that math isn't explained when talking about the card, and there's less videos right now just because, the Altitude Reserve has been discontinued. It'll be continued to be serviced because U.S. Bank is the zombie card king. I am sorry, City, I was wrong. But in terms of a net annual fee, your net annual fee is going to be a lot better for you in terms of what you're able to net back for yourself and in terms of value than if you just did the effective annual fee calculation, because the effective annual fee calculation is a simple $400 minus $325, right? But it doesn't take into account how you utilize your redemptions. And that is always the big X factor that, in the credit card space, we can't account for because we don't know a person's individual use case of the card. And it's totally fair to us to an extent. But I think if we change the conversation from effective annual fee, because the money comes out of your pocket and you may or may not be able to use everything, right? I think if the conversation changed from effective to net, it would be, I can't say more truthful, but it would be a better gauge of what sort of value you can get from the card. And that's going to take some extra math, and there's definitely extra steps. But my concept for this is annual fee goes out, the credits that you use, right? That is a Y, and then Z is whatever redemptions, however you're utilizing the redemptions, right? Because if you're just utilizing statement credits on the American Express membership reward cards, and you're getting I think statement credits are 0.8 cents per point. Could be 0.6 cents per point. Either way, it is not a penny per point, right? Now you've got to take that into your net annual fee. because you're kneecapping yourself a little bit. Same with the Venture and Venture X. If you're cashing out your points as statement credits, you're getting half a cent per point. And if you're big on certain transfer partners that don't hit that penny per point like floor, but they provide huge value because you can book 4th night free, you can book 5th night free, you can do all of these things that you like within the system, and you like the system, and you like the properties, and you like the amenities, and you like the status that you've gained organically through your stays at those locations. Like, include that in your net annual fee. Right? Net annual fee is an individual effective annual fee. Effective annual fee is a concept that is the most basic concept to highlight for reviewing a card, but net annual fee is what we really should be talking about, because you can take those concepts but better apply them, especially on a personal basis for how you're utilizing the card, right? If I'm using all of the credits on the Sapphire Reserve, yes, I'm getting $300 in credits. I'm getting $300 on the travel credit. I've gotten back $120 on the global entry credit. I've done all of those things. That's all great. My net annual fee looks different than somebody else's net annual fee. And that doesn't take into account, like, yes, I'm using DoorDash, but I'm also, when I'm utilizing DoorDash, I'm gaining more ultimate reward points to cash out with a Hilton redemption, with a Hyatt redemption, with a United or a JetBlue flight, or I'm building toward, flights that I'm planning next year for a family of 3 to pay that off completely with points, or as completely with points as possible, right? So I want to say, if you see me reviewing a card, hold me to account of me utilizing net annual fee as a way to explain the card in an individual way. The other thing that I'm forgetting, and I would be remiss if I did, I'm forgetting things like Bank of America deals, Chase offers, Wells Fargo deals, American Express offers, whatever Capital One is offering, because they offer the same thing. Your spending on those is individual to you, so that's also going to play into your net annual fee. If you're able to save, or get back through statement credits through the spend that you normally do, $150, $200, $300 from Chase offers, that more than covers that $250 gap. And that's something that we don't talk about at all. So your net annual fee is going to be much different than somebody else's net annual fee. So please hold me to account if I'm talking about new credit cards with potential net annual fees, to utilize net when talking about things, just because, yes, it's a big concept, but individually, because we always say your mileage may vary. Individualization of these cards is the way that you, the viewer, should think about these when you're thinking about how this card can affect me, right? A lot of times I'll see comments about, like, new potential cards. Oh, not for me because X, Y, and Z, right? You're doing that critical thinking. Hold us to account to do that critical thinking as well. Anyway, this is just something that I've had floating in my brain, and let me know down in the comments what you think. If you like what I do, hit the like and subscribe button. Check out my podcast, the Stack Your Points. Check out the podcast I co-host, the Stack Your Points podcast. Do that with Lonnie. Call me Lonnie. Do You Take Cards? And Tariq from Reeks Rewards. RJ from Do You Take Cards? Sorry. Join the channel if you'd like to support me here on YouTube, and there are links down below to support me outside of YouTube if you so choose. That's always in the pinned comment. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.